welcome to SATTE 2026.
New Delhi, which is at the center of a global travel conversation this week. SATTE 2026 is one of the biggest gatherings of the global travel industry. The three-day mega event is kick-started at the Yashobhoomi International Convention and Expo Center, bringing together the world's most influential voices in tourism under one roof. And this year's theme, which is an opportunity called India, puts the spotlight firmly on India's rising global tourism footprint and also the business potential the country represents for the world. And our correspondent Nikita Singh, in fact, spoke to Anita Mendirata from the United Nations Tourism. Listen in.
Hello, we have Ms. Anita Mendirata with us today, who is the Special Advisor to the Secretary General, UN Tourism. Thank you so much, Ms. Anita, for your time.
Thank you for the invitation.
Lovely. We can't wait to hear your insights on, speaking of SATTE 2026, how significant is this exhibition is sort of reshaping and talking about highlighting tourism partnerships in Asia and beyond? What do you have to say about that?
One of the beauties of SATTE is that it is such a massive event, but importantly, it's not only a massive exhibition, it's exactly as you say, it's the basis of developing partnerships. So this is where people can come to meet to establish what are they trying to achieve, and not only growing their destinations, but in recovering their destinations. Because as we know, with the pandemic, the entire world was shut. So now as the doors open, we need to make sure we make the right decisions in growing tourism smartly.
That's very well said. It's about, smart tourism, and also a lot of tourists are becoming very self-aware and conscious when it comes to travel. Speaking of India, how fast do you think is the Indian tourism market growing, and how does the global tourism community feel about this transition, and how, let's say, Indian travelers are different from European or Australian travelers? What do you have to say about that?
The Indian tourism market has always been very popular, and pre-pandemic ultimately it was very much about bringing Indian travelers to ultimately the places around the world and international tourists to India. But what's very important is that we have a third market now, which is domestic tourism, and it's very much about growing Indian tourism with and for Indians, not only bringing the world to India.
Indian travelers are becoming really popular. We're speaking of Indian tourism and celebrating it today. I have to ask you, are international tourism boards specifically calibrating strategies for Indian travelers, looking at how tourism is evolving in the country?
What's very important about your question is how they're working together, and that's what's really critical. The tourism boards are no longer standalone. They're creating partnerships, country to country, state to state, city to city, and that's allowing much stronger tourism flows and creating ways of, again, getting the accessibility, getting the visa policies in place. So this is where an event like this is important, to create those partnerships for smart tourism development that is efficient, because ultimately tourism is about the tourism economy, not only the tourism attraction. And you need to keep that moving all year round.